Hello and welcome to day 15 of our 21-day journaling challenge. This is the last week. We are actually in the last week. I know that I said I'd have my usual setup back today, but I actually quite like this easy approach, this selfie approach. So we're going to have another one. Here it is. Now, who is new to this? Sorry, I did have a little introduction set up and I just forgot it. But what I was going to say is what we're doing for this challenge, for anyone that doesn't know, is we are writing our life right, one journal prompt at a time. We have a prompt today to help us access the joy of journaling and to encourage us to realize just how therapeutic, helpful, healing, reflective, and great journaling is. So that's what we're doing. And I hope you're loving it. I hope you're enjoying it. And I hope you start if you haven't. So for today's entry, I want you to go and get your journal. Pause this if you have to. You know the drill. Get your journal. Write down today's date. Write down how you're feeling. Pause to ask yourself, where is it? Sometimes you can just feel like like an ache or an oddness in your belly, and you don't realize that it's actually attached to an emotion that you're feeling but you're not addressing. So it's good to check in, see how you are. Write down where you are or what's around you, what you can see, just for nostalgia reasons. You'll thank me later, darlings. Why is darlings one new word? And write down one thing you're grateful for over the past 24 hours. It could have been something that happened or something that you just became aware that you're grateful for. So I'll share mine as I have been. I've had my first coffee today in a few days, so I'm a bit... So my thing that I'm grateful for is books. So I sent someone a voice note earlier talking about the fact that I've been feeling really overwhelmed with what to read at the moment because I've just got so many good books. And whilst I'm looking for all the titles and I'm like, this is amazing, I need to read this, I am just feeling so blessed to have them. And just knowing, I was watching a Game of Thrones episode and the girl said to a guy that could read, because not everyone could read, and it was... all that information by just looking at those markings on that book, and it gave me an even bigger appreciation for books and reading. So I just need prayer on how to decide which one to stick to at the moment. So now, when you've done your gratitude, the thing that you're grateful for, and it'll be good if it is something that's happened, that you can remember that there was something that happened today that you were grateful for when you look back. Today's prompt. Now, this might sound like it's a bit of a, negative Nancy prompt, but it's not. And you'll see why. So I want you to write down what your fears are. What are your fears? It could be spiders. It could be crowds, it could be going out on your own, it could be airplanes, however many fears you have, write them down. Write down a list of your fears. Why are they your fears? Where did they come from? When was the first time you realized that was a fear of yours? And write down whether you feel your fears are rational. Do you feel like, it's understandable why you're scared of those things, or each one? So I want you to think about everything that I've just said when you're doing this prompt, when you're writing in your journal about this, when you're doing this entry. Sorry, I'm not going back. I want you to think about all those things and really have sometimes we're carrying fears that aren't ours. Sometimes we're afraid of things based on things that have happened in the past, and we don't have to be as scared of them anymore. Sometimes we're scared of creatures that can't even harm us. And it's given us an extra tension and stress and weight that we don't need to carry. And sometimes it's just good to address these things, realize that they're not rational, and maybe even have a time where you didn't, a time of prayer where you pray about these things because you didn't realize you were scared of them. And for people who, go in a bit deeper, so for me, one of my fears was losing people I love. And that came from when I lost my mum. I was 15 and it was a fear of mine before it even happened because of how much I loved her. I guess I had this before losing her, just and that could have come from abandonment issues from my dad. You know, I'm realizing where a lot of my fears come from. And I realize that for me, in a lot of my relationships, my fear of losing people I love makes me reluctant to love. So I could be missing out on wonderful, life-changing love because I'm scared of losing it. And that's a block. That's something that it's understandable where it came from, but I don't need to carry it around as a fear. You know, it's stopping me from experiencing things in life that are wonderful. Well, it was. So identifying that and coaching myself and talking myself through it and praying about it and just knowing it changed a lot of things.